Be the person that always apologizes, but never be the person who needs to be apologized to. Hi, I'm Nick Shell with Family Friendly Daddy Blog. Man, if there's something I'm obsessed with at this stage of my life, it's emotional intelligence. I love my mind being freed and open and realizing that for most of my life, I was held back by my own beliefs. And now I'm understanding how to free myself of that the more I learn about emotional intelligence. So you've probably seen my other videos before where I explain that it's always a choice whether or not you choose to forgive another person. It's always a choice whether you are annoyed by someone else's annoying behavior. It's always a choice to be offended by something someone else says or does to you. It's always a choice. There's some people who are offended by anything. There are those others, like me, who say, no, they can't have power over my emotion. I'd have to give that to them. I'm not willing to do that. I'm in control of my own emotions. Now, on that same vein of thought here, let's talk about apologies. Now, if you've seen the movie with Greg Kinnear in it, Little Miss Sunshine, well, lots of people, Steve Carell, lots of people are in that movie. And you have seen it, actually. You've seen the movie. Well, Greg Kinnear's character, he's a motivational speaker. And one of the things that he promotes is he says, never apologize. It makes you seem weak. That's something he says, which in reality, I know is quite the opposite. I know the reality is, if you're the person who apologizes, it gives you the power. It does. Because even in admitting fault, no matter how legitimate that acceptance of a fault is, by accepting fault, especially when it's attached to someone's feelings being hurt, if you apologize, man, what happens is, as the cliche goes, you become the bigger man. You're apologizing. And what you're doing is you're putting that person in a position, a weaker position, because now they have to forgive you. And if they don't, then you still apologize. You did the right thing. Now it's them that's going to be the weaker person because they can't. Now they're holding a grudge. I mean, I get it. Certain things are hard to forgive people for compared to others. But whatever sin has been committed against you, I'm pretty confident in the history of the world there's been many other people who have dealt with that and forgiven the person. So if they can do it, so can the rest of us, right? So anytime someone apologizes to you, especially when it's over hurt feelings or being insulted or offended, something like that, until you forgive them, they're the more emotionally intelligent person. They are actually in control. At that point, they have apologized to you. So obviously you have to forgive them. And again, if you don't forgive someone, that's like drinking poison and expecting that other person to get sick and die. Let's reverse it though. I said, be the person who always apologizes. Check that, we got that. But also, be the person who never needs to be apologized to. Now, fact, throughout the rest of your life, people will do and say things to you that most people would find a reason to be insulted or offended or hurt feelings. But that's your choice to be offended. It's always your choice. It's always your choice to give that power over your emotions to someone else. It's always a choice. Okay? Now, what if I never need an apology because I instantly forgive everybody for everything, knowing that I can't be offended? So the need for an apology just bounces off of me. I don't need it. I don't need an apology. It's cool. I get it. It's cool. I'm never needing an apology. Okay? So if you never need an apology, here's what that means about you. You don't have the grudge on your shoulder. You're not harboring anything against anyone in the free world who could say anything to offend you. It may even be they said something political that you didn't agree with, or they made it clear that they didn't agree with who you voted for, or whatever. Something, let's silly. Because when you look at a polarized thing, if half the people think this way and half to think this way, and you get in an argument about that, that's fruitless to begin with. And I think a lot of times people get offended over something silly like that. It's silly, okay? That's often, I think, how these arguments get started between people. It could be religion, it could be politics, it could be about eating gluten, it could be anything that people have an identity behind, and then someone attacks that, even in a slight little comment that they think nothing of, right? So, if you're needing forgiveness from another person, what if you don't get it? What if you never even see that person again? Or what about this passive-aggressive approach? You see them. You know what? Just need to let you know, I forgive you. I forgive you, I do. See, that's so passive-aggressive. Because I get it. There's times you need to tell people that you forgive them for stuff. But even that, it's almost like this pretentious, like, I'm the bigger person here. I'm willing to forgive you for what you did. And often the person who offended you doesn't even have an idea that you're harboring it for all this time. They don't realize that you have given this power to them for months or years of your life. So imagine this in closing. What if you always apologize? If someone perceives that you did something wrong to offend them or hurt them, what if you always apologize? And not some lame apology like, I'm sorry if I said anything to offend you. No, there's no if. In that person's mind, you offended them. Therefore, in their mind, it's a fact. You're offensive. You sinned against them. So all you have to do is immediately, sincerely, I am so sorry. I was wrong to do that. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. It's sincere, but it's ending that for them. Okay, but at the same time, you never need or expect anyone else's apology. You can live the rest of your life without being forgiven because you understand not everyone has the same sense of emotional intelligence that you have. By being the person that always apologizes, but never is the person that needs to be apologized to. I'm Nick Shell with Family Friendly Daddy Blog, and this is yet another lesson in emotional intelligence.